Hey everybody, Supercargo here. This is from this last Saturday. We were doing 8v8s, no friendly fire, and supply buffs. And this week I was using the Rockstedi, which is the single shotgun. And for secondary I was using a Galactic, and medium class, as you probably already could tell. The time was set for 25 minutes per match, so we only actually got like 3 sets in, with 2 games per set, because we were doing stopwatch. So actually by the end of this I was pretty tired, just because the games were taking so long. But I think 25 minutes is a decent time for 8 people, but yeah, it was definitely tiring. I'm looking forward to getting back to 5v5s. But yeah, the Rockstedi I actually started using the day before this, because of course they had just come out with a patch that kind of changed the stats of some of the weapons. And I started out as a heavy. I started with using the heavy weapons, and I didn't particularly care for it, it just wasn't my style. And I ended up trying out a Rockstedi as my secondary as a heavy, and I really liked it. So when I switched to a medium class, I started with the Rockstedi as my primary, and out of all the ARs that I retried, the Rockstedi was my favorite. It's really nice because it's accurate at range, and it's super accurate. Well, let me rephrase that. When you're super close, it does a whole lot of damage, just because look at that giant reticle right there. And if you're that close, you can just unload as fast as you can into people's bodies, and it'll take them down. The setup I have on my weapons, the Rockstedi is adjusted iron sights, and then rapid fire clip, and then a muzzle, or what are they called? A muzzle brake, is that it? I think so. A muzzle brake and foregrip. And it seems to be working out. As you can see, I'm still kind of getting used to the aiming. Some of it has to do with the auto aim, which is super annoying. I hate the auto aim. And yes, I have tried taking it off, and it just goes worse for me. But yeah, and then the Galactic, I have adjusted iron sights, a foregrip, muzzle brake, and quick reload, or duct taped magazines. And I've been pretty much in love with duct tape magazines. I tried it out on the Rockstedi, and I didn't use it just because the rapid fire works out a whole lot better just because of its accuracy. And if you notice the time, I'm actually cutting out a lot of play time just because nothing would happen. And since it's a 25-minute video and the requirements are 15 minutes of HD video, I kind of had to cut out a lot. But it worked out alright in this video, because a lot of times I was just kind of holding areas, and it'd be like I would die once and then get one kill in like a minute or so, so it wasn't terribly interesting. I hope you don't mind if I edited out some of my deaths. Not trying to discredit all the people that killed me this game, but just trying to make it as interesting as possible. But yeah, as far as the changes that have been made, I think with the patch for the weapons, I think most of them have been great. I am a little bit disappointed that the SMGs got nerfed so much as far as range, because they're a lot less useful now than they were before, and since I was a light class and ran around with SMGs a whole lot, I'm a little bit sad, but whatever, it's alright. I mean, usually when I use the SMGs I was at pretty close range anyways, so for all my QQing, it's not that big of a deal. And of course the biggest change came to the heavy class weapons, especially the grenade launchers, where the grenades got area and damage buffs. And I'll talk about that in a bit. And then the only other major change was the freaking 3K, which if you notice, that is actually what it is, the FRKN 3K, the freaking 3K. And I am very happy that they upgraded that weapon, because it was severely lacking in refire rate, damage, and accuracy. So, good changes there. But yeah, heavies. They are definitely a little bit OP in my opinion now. Because they definitely needed a buff, because before the patch they were just kind of useless class because their weapons didn't do enough damage. They didn't have enough health for what they were doing. And of course they didn't get a health buff, but the weapons that definitely needed to be changed. But my one gripe is with the easy nade launcher, because it just doesn't make any sense, honestly, because all the other weapons are good, but the easy nade launcher allows a heavy to stay out of range, so it's you can't hit him, but he can hit you. And plus he has extra health, so even if you can hit him, he can get you at range, shoot around corners. And I just honestly don't think that's fair, especially with the damage buff. And so I just think they should just give the other weapons that the heavy has a little bit of a buff, whether it be damage, accuracy, something like that, like the minigun and LMGs, and then just get rid of the easy nade altogether. Because when you get, like, I don't know if it was in this game, but we had some games this last Saturday where there'd be like 3 people with an easy nade launcher, and there was like literally nothing we can do, just because there's so many grenades, and if even one of them is a soldier, he has that extra Molotov, flashbang, and then of course regular grenade. We'd just be pinned down, like we'd be taking damage left and right every time we'd engage. We'd already be hurt because of the grenades. And I know that was the original intention of the grenade launcher, was to be able to clear people out of rooms, but it's just gotten ridiculous. So I think the solution is to give the heavies a health buff, because the heavies are supposed to clear out rooms. Like, I'm not trying to get rid of that. I wouldn't want to get rid of that functionality, but let them clear out rooms by having more health, buffing their like miniguns and stuff like that. Because if any of you have played TF2 on the computer, Team Fortress 2, I think the heavies in that game are set up perfectly, where they have a ton of health. If they get buffed by medics, then they last even longer, of course. And then, of course, their minigun is deadly. And I think that's exactly how it should be here. And it's not just because I played TF2 and I'm biased, because I played TF2 a couple years ago, and then I just got back into it when it went free to play. Because I had to re-download it, so I was like, oh, well, I will see how this goes. But yeah, I think it works out perfectly in Team Fortress 2. And I hope that they change it a little bit to be a little bit more like that. Now, the likelihood of that happening, not very high, just because they seem to be kind of slow when it comes to things like that, just like most companies are anymore. But I think that is the most major change that could be made. And if they don't do it, the heavies and the easy nade launcher aren't overly, like, game-breakingly overpowered, but it does make the game not fun to play anymore. Because I was just talking with some of the people I was playing with, and it was like, yeah, because I think it was this match. At the end of this match, we're like, yeah, well, we were able to hold them off, but the game just wasn't fun, just because we were getting nades everywhere, and it just playable but not fun, and that's definitely not what Brink wants at this point in time. Their fan base is already dwindling because of some oversights, whether it be on their part or Bethesda or Sony. There are definitely some oversights that were made that brought the game down, and it's brought its popularity down. So they definitely don't want to make anything that's OP. That would just ruin the game for the people that still do play. So yeah, there's my rant on the heavies' new weapons. See, I don't think I'm totally unreasonable. It's like, get rid of the easy nade, buff the minigun and LMGs, and then, and actually their shotgun, the auto shotgun, could use a buff too, and then give them more health. Because it even, personally, I think it suits the classes more, because then you can't directly face heavies. You have to come behind them, flank them, do stuff like that. So yeah, there's my heavy rant. I hope you enjoyed. But feel free to let me know what you think, because I am, of course, only one man's opinion. And not being a heavy player, I'm kind of biased against them, just because I find them so annoying when they're using the easy nade. So yeah, just let me know in the forums, comments, what you think, because I'm willing to have an argument with you about it. A light-hearted, light-spirited argument. No name-calling. But yeah, this game was getting pretty intense at this point, because of course we had held them off for at least 12 minutes at the first section, and then we just started getting rolled here. Like the little bridge got blown up almost as soon as it possibly could. In fact, I didn't think it would get blown up that soon, so I didn't even know there's a charge on it. Good teammate, right? No, but I mean the other team was doing good. It's not that they just had heavies on their team, which I think that they might have only had 2 in this particular game, but I do know there was more in some other games. Yeah, there is another Rockstedi fail. Like I said, the auto aim in the Rockstedi makes it hard to use. I actually haven't tried taking the auto aim off using the Rockstedi, so I'll have to try that and see if it helps at all. Because it's definitely messed me up more than it's helped me. Ugh. But kills like that remind me why I love the Galactic. Because before, I actually had extended mags on the Galactic, so it was really, really good against taking down heavies, because it was super accurate, meaning no kick, or little kick, and it had a huge clip size with the extended. But even without the extended, with the duct tape, it still has plenty of ammo to go around to take out heavies and stuff like that. So that is why I use the Galactic as a secondary. Because I think, like I said in an earlier video, I ran around with a Vector and a Galactic for a while as a medium. And so Vector as a primary, Galactic as secondary, and it worked out really well. Luckily we were able to hold them here, though. We were able to kind of compose ourselves, although I was dying a lot, but I guess so was the other team, so it kind of evened out. But man, I am excited for this DLC. I am not gonna lie. I'm ready for an infusion of new maps, because every time I make a video now I'm like, well, I feel like everybody's already seen this video, which is true. Because there's not that many. So yeah, new maps will be good. They look super nice. I'm excited for the new abilities. Although I'm kind of wondering how the what? See, how did that even happen? Really? Like, I knocked him over? I mean, I guess I was just shooting over him, but I find that ridiculous. Anyways, new abilities. There's a lot of napalm and fire and explosions in the new abilities, so we'll see how that goes. I feel like it could be super fun, but at the same time it could be kind of cheap. But we'll see. I'm mostly excited for the new maps. There's a nice fail flash right there. Oop. He was he actually sniped me a second time. And I was really pissed about it. Because I was already frustrated at this game, just because I kept dying all the time. But I got my revenge. I got my sweet, sweet revenge. I will be posting the second game in this series. I think that's how I'll always do it. I'll post the first and second games, just so you can kind of see how they went. Plus, it's usually if one game's good, the other game's almost always good. Just because the same people are playing, same teams. Alright, well thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.